Now, Prime Minister Modi and Vladimir Putin bilateral has begun. They traveled in the same car for that bilateral, which is happening at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Tianjin. That crucial bilateral, what will be the takeaway, because there have been repeated conversations after every summit that have happened between the two leaders. There is personal chemistry, and India also maintaining at the same time that this is not an era of war, something that India has communicated to both Vladimir Putin and President Zelensky, not once, but on multiple levels in private conversations and also in bilateral meetings and in summit level meetings as well. So that bilateral has begun, Geeta, in Tianjin.
Well, yes, and the first photograph has also emerged. The president of Russia and Prime Minister Narendra Modi both have begun the official bilateral meeting. Like I said, the unofficial informal talks had already begun between the leaders as they reached Ritz-Carlton in the same car. They were in conversation while the officials were preparing for the bilateral meeting, and now the official bilateral meeting has begun. So this is an important meeting. Like I said, Maria, this is one of the most important meetings that is taking place on the sidelines of the SCO summit in Tianjin, China, where the leaders are not only going to discuss the way forward, but also how to handle the entire crisis that has come about because of the tariffs that have been imposed on India for buying Russian oil. India stood by Russia. Russia now is looking at working out a peace arrangement with Ukraine. And should that happen, there could be some sigh of relief for India and many other countries. But for now, the biggest problem for India is how to tackle Trump at the back of these impositions on India. This is an important one where we are looking at not just, now let's not confine it only to Trump, because Russia-India relations are beyond Trump tariffs. The trade relations, which needs enhancement in terms of the balance of trade, is highly disadvantaged to India since India has been buying a lot of oil, also a lot of defense equipments, but the payments now, because of the sanctions, cannot be made. So a lot of money, and how they're going to deal with this this entire payment issue is also something the two sides have to discuss. Will they begin part ruble payment? Rupee-ruble exchange is something that has been in discussion for long, but for oil it has not really been put in place. So these are discussions that are important, because you need not just a relationship that's historical, you need a working relationship, a relationship that and conditions that work for both the countries. So payments, how that's going to be done. Can Russia become a market for India? Because of the tariffs in America, a lot of manufacturers could suffer, and therefore they would be looking at other markets. So for the Indian products that are meant for America, which means they're high quality products, can Russia become a market? That's another area that could come up for discussions between the two sides. Defense cooperation, security cooperation has always been a very critical part of India-Russia ties. So that certainly is going to be a part of the conversations, and trade and energy. So a lot of areas that need conversations, be it cybersecurity, AI, digital diplomacy, rupee-ruble payment, trade imbalance. These are important aspects that also will be covered, apart from the fact that there's an overriding issue of Trump tariffs that has impacted India very adversely, or could impact India adversely. But there could be ways that could be found, including Russia becoming a major market for India.
Yes, and with this, Prime Minister Modi's Tianjin visit will come to an end, Geeta, because this is the last bilateral which is on the cards, and perhaps the most crucial one. Just for our viewers, in terms of what is at stake and how crucial, deep and multilateral this relationship is, how deep in terms of playing out at multiple levels. India is the largest recipient of Russian arms, including advanced platforms like the BrahMos missile and the S-400 system. Over 50% of India's military platforms are of Russian origin, and the joint production continues under Make in India initiatives. In terms of civil nuclear projects, which are roughly 6 plants in Tamil Nadu, and discounted oil imports, over 40% of India's oil imports come in from Russia, and that is the figure as of 2024. In terms of the bilateral trade between the two nations, it reached $65.7 billion in financial year 24. And the goal for the two nations is that by 2030, it should be around $100 billion. And exports include pharmaceuticals. Key imports are also oil, fertilizers and minerals. And Geeta, a word on RIGC, which is India-Russia Intergovernmental Commissions, which function at two divisions, trade, science, culture, military cooperation, giving regular structure to these interactions.
That's right. Russia-India Governmental Commission is a continuing effort between the two countries, where the commissions meet on a regular basis to discuss various aspects, and there are various officials who participate or partake in those conversations. Having said that, the leadership level meeting between the two countries is also the annual summit, is also very important, which is aside from all the other meetings that the two leaders hold on the sidelines of these multilaterals. So we are looking at this meeting right now, and there will soon be another meeting not so long from now, when the Russian president would be visiting India for the annual Russia-India bilateral summit. There are a lot of various levels of engagement and forms of engagement between India and Russia, and the two countries have always remained engaged, whether it's militarily, trade, commerce, finance, or for that matter, digital space, education, huge cultural connect, and then leadership level. So all these conversations culminate into what we see when it comes to India-Russia. Look at the larger perspective. If you are in Russia today, or if you are in India, the kind of importance Russia attaches to cultural ties between the two countries, people to people connect between two countries. In Russia, there's a growing sense of the importance of India, wherein you see a lot of students picking up Indian cultural dance forms, music, art, culture. That has always been, and yoga, again, another very important aspect. And interestingly, these are things that have also been picked up by the Chinese. The only difference is that geopolitically and strategically, we are not aligned with China as we are with Russia. So these are aspects that are of great importance. You're rightly pointing out at different levels, Maria, and different forms. Conversations continue between the two countries, but the most important one is the leadership level meeting between the two countries. And that's happening right now in Tianjin on the sidelines of the SCO summit. The last meeting for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as they say, save the best for last. This is a very important relationship and friendship between the two countries.